Romeo and Juliet, Act 1, Scene 4. In this scene, Mercutio gives the Queen Mab speech, and the fairy-like creature of Queen Mab highlights our humanness. It puts a spotlight on us in the same way the Midsummer Night's Dream fairy does, when, after witnessing some human folly, he cries, "Lord, what fools these mortals be." Queen Mab makes the human experience more vivid. She draws attention to the actual life of the individual, their true essence. And human beings, through their own consciousness, create their own values and determine a meaning to their lives. In defining oneself, one can wish to be anything. Queen Mab focuses on what Jean-Paul Sartre expressed: with man, first of all, exists, encounters himself, surges up in the world, and defines himself afterwards. Queen Mab touches on the surges up in the world and this defining of oneself. Queen Mab is inward looking in this existential way. But Romeo calls this nothing. What thou talkest of is nothing. Mercutio responds, "True, I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy, which is as thin of substance as the air." This, in existentialism, is what is called the absurd. It is the idea that there is no meaning in the world beyond what meaning we give it. This meaninglessness also encompasses the amorality or unfairness of the world. This contrasts with the notion that bad things don't happen to good people. To the world, metaphorically speaking, there is no such thing as a good person or a bad person. What happens, happens. And it may just as well happen to a good person as to a bad person. Existentialism emphasizes the fact that the projects of our human lives are set against or are against a background of a meaningless and indifferent world. Shakespeare speaks more of this meaninglessness in The Tempest. Our revels now are ended. These are actors, as I foretold you. We're all spirits and are melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of a vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherit, shall dissolve, and like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a wreck behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. When Mercutio talks of dreams, it also reminds me of when in Hamlet, Shakespeare writes of the biggest dreamers of all, Julius Caesar and Alexander the Great. Imperial Caesar, dead and turned to clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away. Oh, that earth which kept the world in awe should patch a wall to expel the winter's flaw. One can really sense that the human being and all of their projects are truly set against a background of meaninglessness, an indifferent world. Although existentialism flourished as an intellectual movement centuries after Shakespeare, there are elements of this identifiable philosophical position. And what is central to this is one's authenticity, one's authentic obsession, or the self-made something in a world of nothing.